Hello there, welcome. My name is Joy KahNah, and in today's video I want to share 3 tips for navigating through and surviving and thriving during your Saturn return. So first things first, let's just take a bit of a moment and talk about what the Saturn return actually is. So your Saturn return is a principle of astrology, and it is a time when Saturn, which is sort of thought to be the planet of, it's sort of like the grandfather planet. It's the planet of responsibility. It's the planet of hard lessons. It's the planet of time, of restriction. It's sort of about, putting in the hard work for a long time, having determination, following the rules, learning the difficult lessons, and then eventually somewhere down the road getting a payoff. And so everybody has Saturn somewhere in their chart. And basically the Saturn return is when Saturn, which is this really slow moving planet, when it returns to the place that it was at the moment of your birth. And so this happens, it depends on how long you live, but it will happen like maybe 3 times in your lifetime. Once, and it will happen from about the ages of say 27 and a half to say 30 and a half. So that's the first time. And then it will come around again from like 56 to 60 or so. And then it will come around again in your 80s. And during the time that Saturn comes around, we are typically presented with some opportunities for growth, okay? Like we're typically presented with some opportunities for growth. And, right now I am having my Saturn return. I'm having the second pass of my first Saturn return. I'm 30 years old. And I just wanted to share with you guys some strategies for navigating the Saturn return that have really proven successful for me, like during my first pass of Saturn and right now as I'm in the throes of the second pass of Saturn. And if you're watching this and you're preparing for your first Saturn return or you're in your first Saturn return, know that the first Saturn return is about stepping into adulthood. It's about coming into the real experience of being an adult. And right now, amongst millennials, I'm part of the millennial generation, there's sort of this phrase that people say called adulting, like, oh, I'm adulting today, oh, going to look at houses, I'm adulting, or whatever, paying my taxes, I'm adulting. So there's this sort of that time period in our 20s where we're adulting, which basically means like pretending to be an adult. And then the Saturn return comes, and that's when you have to like really go beyond adulting and actually start to see yourself as an adult. And what Saturn does is it's going to bring you some sort of life circumstance in which you have the opportunity to learn to become an adult or to sort of step up and be an adult. Saturn has brought me a couple of opportunities to become an adult. So the main one that is occurring right now is that Saturn brought me the opportunity to be the full-time caregiver for my dying grandfather, who is 90 years old, and to take care of all of his needs, to dress him, to do all his cooking, cleaning, to totally manage his household and his affairs and all of this. And Saturn has also brought me the opportunity to be an entrepreneur, to run my own business. And Saturn has also brought me a major health challenge, the experience of having seizures, which comes with lots of restrictions, like a very restrictive diet, the inability to drive, and requires a lot of management in life. It just requires a very responsible approach to life, because if you step out of the reins, if you don't get enough sleep, or you drink alcohol or do all these things, your brain will go haywire and you'll get really sick. So anyway, so those are some of the circumstances that Saturn has brought me. But Saturn will probably bring you something during your Saturn return. at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what Saturn brings you. It matters how you respond to what Saturn brings you. So here are 3 ways that I've learned to respond that have helped me. So my first tip is to embrace whatever life hands you. Embrace what Saturn brings to you. So a lot of times what Saturn can bring to us, it may not feel like much of a gift. Saturn could bring to you a divorce, or Saturn could bring to you the loss of your job. Saturn is one of the things that Saturn is doing for us is it's redirecting us to our soul's plan or purpose. So if for some reason you were on a path that wasn't in alignment with the path that you planned for your lifetime, this is when life redirects you and says, no, you're going here. So sometimes Saturn can bring us some big endings or really scary things. No matter what happens during your Saturn return, the first principle is embrace what life hands you. Do not resist the circumstances that are coming into your life. Know that your Saturn return is an initiation, and usually if you put in hard work, you'll get some rewards afterwards. So what I've learned is just to accept the initiation for what it is, accept whatever limitations are there in your reality. And, things can dramatically change during your Saturn return. So I even recommend reminding yourself, this is my reality, because it could change so much that you've got to ground into where you're at right now. So I remind myself on a day-to-day basis, yes, I am the full-time caregiver for this individual. This is my responsibility. I accept this is now a part of my reality. Tending to this person's every need is a part of my reality. I accept that although it may not be true for everyone, if I do not get 9 hours of sleep tonight, or I do not go to bed at 7:30 p.m., yes, 7:30 p.m., that I will likely have a seizure and I will feel absolutely horrible for a number of days and not be able to tend to my responsibilities. So whatever it is for you, whatever circumstances are there for you, embrace it, as if it were a gift, even though whatever, circumstances are there in your life, they may not feel like a gift. If they do, congratulations, you're amazing. But if they don't, for most people they won't, still embrace them with open arms. If a challenge comes to you, let's say your car breaks down or something like that, that could happen during your Saturn return. And, that can be hard to embrace, and yet I recommend embracing it, accepting it. Okay, I accept that my car has broken down. I accept that, this may have happened because I did not take full responsibility and invest in the maintenance of my car. And now Saturn is teaching me about becoming an adult and the importance of caring for my vehicle by having my car break down. I accept that I no longer have a vehicle. I accept that I'm going to have to, get a new vehicle, or I'm going to have to make some hard choices or whatever it is, but accept and embrace whatever is taking place in your life. That's my first tip for your Saturn return. Tip number 2, this one is powerful. Accept full responsibility for any and all challenges in your life. Accept full responsibility for any and all challenges in your life. Well, let's say, a big bill comes due or something like that. You've got to accept it. You know what? Somehow, some way, I'm going to need to find a way to pay this bill. Oh, pipes break in your house, something like that. Don't blame the weather. Don't blame the weather. Don't blame the previous homeowners. It's your responsibility now, because Saturn wants us to take responsibility for our life. Even though you can feel really burdened, and then during your Saturn return, you may feel a lot of burdens, all of a sudden all these things are your responsibility. You've got so much to do. You've got so much adulting to do. Everything's piling up. You want to have a can-do spirit. I can do this. This is my responsibility. I am an adult now, and I'm going to take care of business. Okay? So really, and this can really, really shift things. Sometimes if we try to get somebody else to take care of our challenges and stuff like that, Saturn will lay the smack down on us. So don't try to pass off your responsibilities to somebody else. Just say, oh, yep, this is something that needs to be accomplished. I take responsibility for accomplishing it, and great things will happen. Along the same lines of taking responsibility, just reminders, Don't blame other people for your problems, even if it seems like, somebody else really contributed to a challenge that you have. Anything that's being handed to you is for you to deal with. On a similar note, don't compare your challenges with other people's challenges, because it can be really easy during the Saturn return to kind of, go on social media or talk to other people and be like, I don't understand, like, why is my life so difficult, or why do I have all these challenges and this other person my same age, like, they don't seem to be having any. Don't compare. Just accept, like, this is what I've been given. This is what I need to grow into becoming an adult, or if you're in your second Saturn return, to step into my next level of wisdom. These are the exact circumstances that I need. I take responsibility for solving this challenge. I can do it. This is about my empowerment. I am responsible for this. Like, the more that you can repeat to yourself, like, I accept responsibility for this, and not be a victim. Dear God, do not fall into a victim mindset. It's okay, like, sometimes during the throes of Saturn, you might need to just have a little cry because you're feeling overwhelmed or whatever, but do not fall into a victim mindset. You are not a victim. Whatever is there for you is within your capacity to handle it. Okay? Even if it doesn't feel that way, you've got this. Like, you have got this. You've got this. Accept responsibility and things will start to flow. And Saturn, when you say, like, I'm willing to work hard, I'm willing to accept responsibility, Saturn will start to work with you and you will succeed. Okay? My third tip is take really good care of yourself and your life. One of the things that Saturn does for us, no matter which Saturn return you're in, first, second, or third, is it makes us face our mortality. Saturn is the ruler of time, and it wants us to know, hey, eventually time's going to run out. Eventually your life is going to be over. What are you doing with it in the meantime? Like, what do you have to show for it? And so anyway, Saturn can really bring out, like, health issues, and it can really, it can really test us. And if we don't have our affairs in order, we don't have our life in order, we're not taking good care of ourselves, we can, have illnesses crop up, we can have really sticky situations crop up. So I really recommend during your Saturn return that you exercise, get enough sleep, eat your vegetables, literally. Like, when I started my Saturn return, I would say that I had about a cup of vegetables per day. And now I would say that I eat about, literally, not kidding you guys, like 3 pounds of vegetables a day, or produce a day at least. Eat your vegetables. Follow a healthy diet. Saturn wants you to take responsibility for your health, for your money. Save money. If you've not saved money before, now's the time to start during your Saturn return. Save a percentage of your income. Have something there for a rainy day, because Saturn will likely present you with a circumstance where you're going to need those resources. It's really important that you take care of yourself and that you take responsibility for your physical body and for your life success, and that you don't try to, like, numb yourself. Saturn can bring up feelings of depression. You guys, that's really, really common. So don't blame yourself if you're experiencing that during your Saturn return. But at the same time, realize that you've got to find a way to feel better, through diet, through lifestyle, through medication or herbs if that's necessary. But don't try to numb yourself. Don't run away. Don't say, oh, I don't feel so good in my body. Let me just, have a drink or, a smoke or something like that to feel better. And maybe I'll wake up once this whole Saturn return thing is over and, I'll have just escaped all of it. That's not going to happen. That's not going to work. The more that you try to run away or numb yourself or escape your Saturn return, the worse and worse of that reality is going to come to you. So if you just accept reality and accept, actually to have peace of mind, I do need to, have a rainy day fund, and to feel, good in my body, I do need to eat fruits and vegetables and get enough sleep and all of that stuff. I am getting older, and this is what I need to do to take care of myself. I'm no longer a child, like, I'm an adult now. I can't expect anybody else to take care of me. It's not my spouse's responsibility. It's not my parents' responsibility. It's not my boss's responsibility to take care of me. It's my responsibility to take care of me. So I am going to take great care of myself. Take really good care of yourself. But you need to be in like a physical state and a financial state where you're ready for anything, because Saturn could bring you anything. Your Saturn return will go a lot better if you're strong in body. Saturn is about our blood and our bones and things like that, and our teeth and stuff. So take good care of your health. So thank you all for watching. If you're having your Saturn return, special blessings to you. You can get through this. Remember, it's temporary. It's temporary. Growing up is good. Like, growing up is good. Stepping into our power is good. Saturn is meaning to give us a sense of empowerment in our lives and to help us to really live the life that we planned and really embrace our purpose. And I know that you're going to do it. And I know that you're going to succeed. And yes, I send my love to you. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this, please feel free to come back any Friday for a new video here on the Maya's Dream channel. So thank you again. Happy Saturn return and namaste. P.S. guys, if you liked this video about the Saturn return, you may be interested in watching my Saturn return documentary or some of my other Saturn videos. I will link my Saturn return playlist below. Thank you again, guys. Have a great day. Bye.